everyone. This is David Searns, co-CEO with Haley Marketing, and thanks so much for joining this session at the World Staffing Summit. I'm really thrilled to have a little bit of time with you today to talk about leveling up your client marketing. And we're really going to look at some specific strategies. I know the title said 10 strategies, but as I put together the notes, I couldn't keep it to 10. So we're going to be doing 11 strategies to help you attract, convert, and retain more of your clients, because in 2023, I think that's going to be a little more of a challenge than it has been in years past. All right, but let's jump right in. So before we get to the strategies, where are we right now? And so, is this a recession, or are we still in a boom in the staffing industry? And most importantly, where are we going this year? So now, well, there's been a case, at least last year, for a recession. We did have the classic definition of 2 declining quarters of GDP here in the United States, but then it bounced back in the fourth quarter. We had inflation that has basically been skyrocketing. Oh, and I see we have a Chiefs fan. Good luck, guys. I did put the comment in there about my sad Bills, but go Chiefs, go. All right. But back to staffing. So let's talk about the fact that, inflation, no secret, is making everybody's expenses go up. Hopefully it's helping with recruiting. It's forcing more people back into the market. But the reality is it's likely to be depressing demand for talent. Interest rates, well, they're down off their peak of north of 7% for a mortgage, but still really high, which is suppressing demand for housing. In fact, home building activity is plummeted. Fewer single-family homes are being constructed here in the United States. We've all seen massive layoffs in the tech sector. So we're hoping that doesn't trickle down to other parts of the economy, but layoffs are certainly a precursor to a recession. There's been an inverted yield curve. That's when the short-term interest rates are worth more than the long-term interest rates. And that's a pretty positive sign that we're headed for a recession. But it's not all bad news. A lot of you are probably saying we're not really in a down market. Unemployment remains at a 50-year low. Wages are still being pushed up. Consumer spending for this holiday season was at a record level. The job market's still pretty hot in most places. And I haven't talked to a staffing company yet that has job orders and are going unfilled. So where are we, boom or bust? Well, the reality is it sort of doesn't matter. And what we really need to think about is, how do you prepare for anything? And specifically, we're here today to talk about how to level up your marketing. So let's get started. We've got 11 strategies to help you drive sales. All right, strategy number 1 is to level up your positioning. So when I ask companies what makes your staffing company different, typically I get answers from companies that mostly sound the same. It's about their services. It's about their experience. It's about their longevity in the market or the longevity of their team. But really, I want you to focus on MV, mission, vision, values. Because anything you do as a staffing organization can be copied by somebody else, but what they can't copy is what you stand for. And if anybody like me is a Simon Sinek fan, you know that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. They buy what you stand for. So have you defined your mission, your purpose, why your company exists, why you have a unique purpose, your vision? What kind of business are you creating? Where are you going? How are you going to add value to society? And have you defined core values, what you truly stand for, your purpose, your future state, your beliefs? These are really your biggest differentiators. And then, are they built into your website? Are they tied into what your salespeople are saying? Are you using them everywhere online and in the real world? Are you training your team how to sell using your mission, vision, and values as a differentiator? You can strengthen your brand by focusing on what truly makes you unique at the core. You can also help your salespeople to build personal brands, differentiating themselves from other salespeople by leveraging your mission, vision, and values. All right, that's strategy 1. And again, this is the Simon Sinek. The center of the bullseye is the how. Excuse me, the why. I gotta read what I wrote. All right, second strategy is to level up your messaging. So you thought through the positioning, you thought through that mission, vision, values, but now you got to translate that into something that makes sense to clients, to employers. So in this market, we have to be translating your messaging, not just in terms of here's why we're special as a staffing company, but more specifically, here's what we can do for you using staffing as a tool to drive business results. We have to go back to doing something that we probably haven't had to do since the Great Recession, teaching people the economic value of staffing services. So we need to train our salespeople how staffing can be used as a tool to convert fixed expenses to variable cost, how organizations can lower labor costs with temporary staffing and direct hire services, how they can reduce turnover, hiring, and training costs, how they can eliminate capacity constraints, improve productivity, allow core employees to focus on important tasks, reduce personnel administration costs and employment liability, ensure deadlines are met, improve access to talent, and take the pain out of hiring. And this is just a partial list. And I wanted to put all these bullets on here and not read them all to you, but just to get you thinking. Do your salespeople truly understand the economic value of staffing? Do they know how your services drive measurable business results for employers? One of the challenges in staffing right now is a lot of people who are selling staffing have never even been in the industry when we've gone through a recession. They've never had the experience of having to differentiate based on outcome. Most of the differentiation has been based on the ability to simply find talent. Well, in a down market or in an uncertain market, we need to do more. So your positioning is what you're all about, why you exist. Your messaging, your key differentiators, your value proposition comes from what you're going to do to help employers get through the coming months and years, depending on what the economy goes through. All right, step 3, more marketing directly, leveling up your website. Now, I'm going to give our industry big kudos. In the last 10 years, staffing websites have come a long way. They've gone from being really poor imitations of what a company does and says to really good representations, and they're doing more to enhance the service experience. They're providing more valuable content. They're facilitating interaction with the staffing company, with the ATS. There's a lot more integration of technology tools, but we still need to do more. The next level is to really look at CRO, which is an acronym that stands for conversion rate optimization. So we really need to think about the drivers, what's bringing people to your website, the hooks, what gets them to take action, and the barriers, what gets in the way. Specifically thinking about making a list of who's coming to your site. Sure, you've got employers, you've got job seekers, you've got current clients, you've got current associates, you've got potential employees. That's at least 5 different audiences your site has to appeal to. And when they're coming, why are they coming? What information do they seek? Do they want to know just about what you do? Do they want to learn about staffing? Do they want to learn about how to get a job? Do you need to teach them more about how to use staffing as that strategic tool? So think about the reasons people are coming, the outcomes they want, and how you can deliver it, because now you have to think about what you can offer. Those are the hooks. Sure, I can offer somebody the ability to apply to a job. I can offer somebody the ability to contact me if they need help with staffing, but what else? That's the very top of the pyramid of needs, is somebody who needs your services right now. But then there's somebody who doesn't need you right now, but they're coming to your website because maybe they want answers to a question. Maybe they want to know how you work. Maybe they don't understand staffing. Maybe they're a job seeker and they don't really know what staffing agencies do. So can you provide content, webinars, ebooks, white papers, things people can download? Can you give people ways to take action that are not necessarily the point of sale, the apply to the job, the request your services, but maybe to talk to someone to learn more, to get a free consultation? So you want to take all of your audiences and then brainstorm all of those calls to action, every possible hook that you might have to get someone to engage with your website, to reach out and contact you, or at a minimum to give you their email address so you can continue to build a relationship. And then you want to think about the barriers. What's going to stop people from taking action? So is it too hard to find the information? Are our calls to action unclear? Are there technical problems that the website's taking too long to load? Is the navigation unclear? Can I not find what I'm looking for? People have no patience on a website. You have about 3 to 5 seconds for someone to look at your site on a desktop or mobile device and figure out where they want to go. And from that, then take the action you want them to take. And that's why understanding who's there and coming up with all the possible calls to action maximizes the probability of increasing response. Okay, now it's time to talk about your sales process. So one of the ways to level up sales is to actually think about what are your competitors doing, and then don't do what they're doing. Because right now, every single staffing company has told their salespeople, it's time to make more calls. However, they're mostly making very similar types of calls, same scripts, same value propositions they're using, same potential differentiators. So you need to really think differently. And we're going to talk about 3 quick strategies here. So I guess I'm giving you more than 11 strategies. AIDA, IDM, and 3x3. So AIDA. AIDA is an acronym that's used in marketing: awareness, interest, desire, action. And essentially, when you think about selling, a lot of salespeople want to start with making the pitch for their services. That's all the way down at the level of desire. What you really want is the top of the funnel. How do we get someone's attention? Because when I'm in sales, the first sale I'm making is to get an appointment. It's to get someone's attention. So whether I'm reaching out via telephone, via LinkedIn, via messaging, trying to get a referral, or I'm using marketing, I have to do something to break through the clutter. One of the things I love to do is send somebody old school direct mail. Why? Because not much comes in the mail. A FedEx package has 100% open rate. So does a box delivered in the mail. And then we have to get someone's interest. It's not yet about selling staffing services. Interest is all about how do I get them interested in the problems we can solve. So when we're thinking about sales, what we're thinking about is how can I raise awareness of the kinds of problems employers have that staffing companies can solve. And my initial outreach has to be, once I get their attention, get their awareness, focus on the problem that will capture their interest. Switching to desire, now is where you start to say, here's why our solutions are so unique. Here's why we can help you solve that problem better than anybody else in the world, so we can drive to the action of let's schedule a meeting. So that AIDA process, it's what salespeople use in making calls. It's what marketing campaigns are all about. And speaking of marketing campaigns, integrated direct marketing can make salespeople 2 to 10 times more productive. This is about integrating multiple types of marketing, multiple touch points in a systematic process to go after every prospect. I might use mail, email, telephones, social messaging. I might use texting. And part of an integrated process that's step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, designed to capture attention, create interest, create the desire for that initial conversation, and then the action. Let's have the call, let's have the meeting. So an integrated direct marketing campaign is how you document all of those steps. You show the salesperson, here's what we're going to do. Here's when you make a call. Here's how we follow up. Here's how we maximize the probability of getting a meeting. And again, when you integrate the marketing with the selling, we typically find at least doubling the number of appointments salespeople get, to as much as 10 times more appointments than pure cold calling. And then let's look at getting closer to existing clients. Because let's not forget, a huge way to drive sales in any market is to do more business with your current clients. And what we want to talk about here is building 3x3 networks. So for every client, I want to go 3 levels wide, 3 different departments, 3 divisions, 3 plants, and I want to go 3 levels deep. I want a strategic level decision maker. I probably want an HR or influencer, maybe purchasing decision maker, and I want the direct supervisor of the person I'm going to place. So I want those levels and I want that width. So I have a network. And that way it helps me to break into those companies, but also with an existing client, think of it like a spider web. If I have a single strand, it's not very strong. If I have a network, all these interconnected relationships that I'm nurturing, my probability of keeping that client happy goes up greatly. My probability of client retention goes up. My probability of increasing the sales I do with that client goes up. It also makes it way easier to cross-sell. All right, our next strategy. So we want to increase our sales, but we also want to give our people better tools. You know, the hardest part about being in sales, you can see it right on screen. There's only 24 hours in a day. So before I move on, somebody had a question. With more people working remotely in different parts of the country, how effective would direct mail be? Depends on knowing your customer. Some examples, you may work in technology and a lot of your clients are all remote. And if you know they're not coming into the office, I might not rely on direct mail. If you're in industrial staffing, almost all of your clients are in the office, in the plant. Mail is absolutely going to work. But also, even if people are working remotely, most companies have figured out how to get packages to people. They don't let things just sit and get thrown away. So you may change the time frame for direct mail, but it absolutely still works as a way to reach decision makers if they're on-site or remote. All right, thank you for the question, by the way. So let's talk a little bit about sales tools. We got 24 hours. How can we use them better? One of my favorite ones is to do something called asynchronous selling. So people don't have time to meet. Nobody has 15 minutes for a quick get together on Zoom or in person. So with asynchronous selling, you're using tools like video, like online proposal systems. You're using tools that allow you to share information one direction at a time. I'll give you a very specific example. We use this when we do client service. So we used to have meetings to show clients the results of our marketing services, and we'd schedule the meeting and we'd spend 30 minutes to an hour together walking through all the data, showing the clients the results, doing Q&A. And what our team said, you know what? It's really hard for our clients to take 30 minutes to an hour out of their day to look at their marketing performance. Let's make a video that will be 5 to 7 minutes of here's everything we were going to present you in the marketing performance, and we'll email you the link to the video. We can do the exact same thing in sales. We can email a link to an introduction video. We can email a link to a video about a proposal. We can email a video with an RFP response. And what we're finding is far greater response rates. Clients love the video as opposed to having to schedule meetings, and we get faster response back using asynchronous tools to do the outreach to make it more convenient for the buyer of staffing services, but also making it easier for the salespeople. Next tool, landing pages, having product-specific landing pages. So let's say you're really good at solving a problem like high volume staffing in a light industrial facility. Rather than having to schedule an appointment to introduce the prospect to how you're good at high volume staffing, why not make a really nice professionally produced video about why you're good at that and how you do it? And then putting it on a landing page where people can go to that page and learn about those services. So now if your salesperson finds out someone is interested in high volume industrial staffing, you send them to the landing page to get detailed information, consistently presented. You address objections right on that landing page. Sometimes you can even get into pricing there. Using product landing pages is a great way to drive more response. And I'll have an example of this at the end of the presentation. One of them we use in our own marketing. You can go to haleymarketing.com/digital-marketing-bundles. That's at the end. So those are special offers we have on digital marketing. We created a landing page to make it easy to explain this to anybody who is interested in better digital marketing. Third tool, marketing automation. Here we're talking HubSpot, ActiveCampaign, chatbots. Can we really help salespeople leverage their time by automating response, by having follow-up after we've done the conversion rate optimization, we've gotten the email address from that prospect, and now we use automation to help with follow-up, to tell our story, to share case studies, testimonials, to help build trust and credibility. We're not replacing the salesperson, not at all. We're augmenting the salesperson by helping ensure consistent touch points delivered through multiple channels. You can usually do automation through text or email, and we're helping the salesperson provide a stronger case for using your company. Now, marketing automation can be integrated with your website, so it can go after anybody who fills out a form, or maybe you do lead scoring where you can see people who have been back to your site multiple times, and now you know they're more interested, or maybe they visited specific pages on your website, and then once they got to that point on your site, the automation kicks in. You can also look at ATS automation. Sense, Bullhorn automation are the two primary tools there, where you can now, once the person's information is in your ATS, you can be automating communication that helps enhance the service process. So this could be talking to a new client to do an orientation. This could be doing what you want to introduce a candidate who's about to come out for an assignment to get a feedback, to then upsell the client on either an assignment extension or getting more people, to helping find out when the assignment's going to end so you can redeploy your talent. The idea is you're using ATS automation with the clients who are already in your applicant tracking system, and you're trying to provide a better service experience. The two related but different kinds of automation for different points of the sales process. All right, now if you're interested in ideas for automation, we have a really nice guide, a smart automation checklist. You can download it for free. Go to haleymarketing.com/smart automation. And it's just filled with questions to help you look at how you're implementing automation in your staffing company and tons of ideas to do it better. All right, our next strategy for leveling up your sales is to level up your lead generation techniques. So why make it a burden of your salespeople to do only outbound selling when we can bring people to you? This is kind of Haley Marketing's very core, something we've done for 26 years. We've never made an outbound sales call. Why? Because we use techniques to bring leads in. So it's using digital marketing as a tool to sell. Most of us have been using digital marketing to recruit for the last 5 or 6 years, maybe 10 years. So now we want to think about search engine optimization. Is our website providing answers to the questions our clients are asking? Are we creating really good long format content that Google's going to find, that's going to help you rank highly around key search terms? And also, again, those questions, those phrases people are typing into Google because they're looking for answers to their questions. And then when someone comes into your website because of search engine optimization, if you look at the pages they're landing on, are they optimized for conversion? Is there a clear conversion path from the search result page to the action you want that visitor to take? If it's a candidate, to applying to a job or getting a job agent or downloading content. If it's an employer, contacting you about your services or speaking with a recruiter to learn more. How about pay-per-click advertising? What are you doing now to do targeted display advertising on Google and on social media? What are you doing to use search ads so that when someone's looking for a specific term that's related to the kind of staffing and recruiting you do, your advertising is appearing to them? What are you doing to do a matched audience ad where you're taking a list of people that you're marketing to, people who are in your ATS, and you're uploading that list to places like LinkedIn, and you're matching the audience that you have with the audience that's going to see the ads? And you do this so that you're targeting people either that you're currently selling to make sure they see you everywhere, or people you've had a relationship with in the past to try to bring them back. So we want to do this matched audience advertising to give them a really strong reason to come back to visit you again, or people who are already in the process, to help reinforce who you are, build trust, build credibility, and make you the staffing company they want to work with when they're evaluating 3 or 4 different vendors. How about content marketing? Do you have a plan for creating regular content? This ties hand in hand with SEO. Are you using your company's website and social media as a platform to educate, to position yourself, to explain your mission, vision, values, to build authority? Think about the topics you want to own so that when somebody thinks of these topics, they come to you. When they think about IT staffing, we had one, IT staffing in the Bay Area for high growth technology companies. This one staffing company we work with, they said, that's what we want to own. We want to know more about talent related issues, how to hire, manage, motivate, retain DevOps people for companies in the Bay Area that are high growth. They were really specific about what they wanted to have authority on, and their content strategy was built entirely around what they wanted to own. They then took that content and they used it on not just their website and their blog, but they use it thoroughly on social media as a way to get found by people they don't know, sharing it on LinkedIn, having all of their recruiters and their salespeople share content. So you're getting the benefit, not just of your people who are following your company, but all of the connections of the people on your team. And really the key to social media is to maximize your reach with your content, and then also to get your people personally engaging in conversation with individuals, with groups, with organizations that could be tomorrow's clients. So content and sharing it is a great way to attract people to you. The individuals sharing it and engaging is a great way to build those relationships, to make social media into a powerful platform bringing sales leads in. All right, hey, somebody's talking about Appcast. Thanks for sharing. And that's actually the platform we use to do recruitment marketing. So thank you very much for sharing the information. All right. Well, let's talk more about lead gen. So we had all the digital marketing, but we're not limited to digital marketing. Some of the best lead generation things beyond. Number one is OPS, other people's stages. Hey, guess what? It's what I'm doing right now. We're at the World Staffing Summit. You're listening to a presentation on how to level up your marketing by a guy who works in marketing. So it's not a sales pitch. Hopefully you're getting a lot of value out of this, but you can use other people's stages in very creative ways. So how could you become a guest speaker on someone's podcast? How could you do a webinar for another audience where the audience are your ideal clients? How about hold an office or meeting in a trade association? Could you have a workshop at a conference? Could you write guest posts for other blogs? So your content can be spoken, it can be video, it can be webinar, it can be podcasts, it can be written, it can be blogs, it can be ebooks, white papers. But what you're looking at is who has the stage that you can get on? Who is the audience? Who has that audience that just by your appearing on that stage, you build instant credibility? And then there are referral partnerships. So things like influencers. We see this outside the staffing industry all the time. Who are the industry influencers? Okay, I won't get into naming influencers because I'm not a big fan of a lot of the pop culture influencers, but who are the influencers that already have the ear of the clients you want to reach? Maybe they're other salespeople. Maybe they're marketing consultants. Or maybe they're consultants in human resources or technology, maybe marketing. But you want to identify all the people who already have influence on the clients you want to reach, and you might market to them, or you might develop a formal referral partnership with them. You may look to develop partner programs. Instead of having us just selling our services, we build a network of salespeople by building formal partnership programs. For anybody who might be in the world of franchising, there are organizations you partner with that they do the franchise selling for you. How about embedded referrals? Now, I don't know any example of this specifically in staffing, but if you look in technology and you think about Microsoft. So how did Microsoft really become successful in the beginning? Well, Bill Gates helped develop the DOS operating system and got it put into the IBM personal computer. Now, it wasn't like DOS was the only choice at that time, but Microsoft won. And by being embedded on the hardware, they became the operating system on every IBM PC and every PC since, till Apple came out with its own operating system and then Microsoft switched to Windows. But how about you? Are there ways to embed your services in somebody else's product, in somebody else's service delivery, so that when they're consulting, they're providing their product, your staffing services are a part of it? And I could see, again, if you're in technology staffing and technology recruiting, maybe you're embedded in somebody who does technology consulting, where they go sell a project and you build the team that's going to do the work. So thinking about formalizing and building referral partnerships is another way to build tons of inbound leads by expanding the size of your sales organization. All right, reputation. It's time to level up. In staffing, trust doesn't come from what we say about ourselves. It comes from what other people say about us. So this is those Google reviews, those Glassdoor reviews, the Indeed reviews, Facebook reviews. We need to think about trust signals, but they start easier than reviews. It's just getting testimonials and having a process to proactively collect testimonials from every client and every candidate. Then we want to take testimonials and get people to leave us online reviews. We want more 4- and 5-star reviews. And in staffing, unfortunately, the easiest review to get is the unplaceable candidate who's going to leave you a 1-star review, even though there's no way in the world you can get them a job. So you need to have a process of, number one, get feedback from people. How did we do? Would you recommend us to a friend or colleague, the Net Promoter Score? If somebody's really happy with the service you provided, hey, what made you happy? That's the testimonial. Then if you get a great piece of feedback, hey, would you mind sharing this on this review site, and give them a link to the review site? That's getting the review. So you got the process, 3 steps: get feedback, collect the testimonial, ask for the review. You can also look at awards, being a best place to work, or winning Clearly Rated's Best of Staffing, becoming a fastest growing staffing company. Either all staffing companies are in your specific market, or just a fastest growing entrepreneurial company. Maybe you're an Inc. 5000 winner, or you're a Forbes award winner. The idea is the more awards you can win and put on your website, the easier it is to build credibility. Now, I don't have a bullet for the next one I'm about to say. I'm going to add one right here, which is also promoting the names of the clients you work with in your website and in your other marketing. And a lot of staffing companies don't want to do that because they're worried about their competition. But the practical reality is your competitors are calling on your clients anyway. Using the logos or names of the companies you work with, logos are better than names, builds credibility, builds trust for your company because it shows how good you are based on how good the companies are you work with. And those trust signals are what make employers you're selling to want to work with you. All right, nurturing. Staffing is pretty much never a one-call close or rarely a one-call close. So we need to do more to stay top of mind with clients, prospects, former clients, warm leads, lukewarm leads, cold leads, basically everybody, because in 2023, staffing buyers are going to change. They may be because of the economy and they cut back on staffing and they come back into the market. It may be because they're recession-proofing their business and they're evaluating every vendor and they want to know who's giving them the best value. But relationships and staffing buyers are going to change dramatically this year. So we need to do more to nurture current clients and every prospect. We have to do more to keep our company top of mind. Email. Do we have a regular campaign of sending out email, not to sell, not to be a nuisance, but to add useful, relevant information that strengthens our positioning? Are we using SMS or texting with people with whom we have a relationship and permission to text? Because texting gets much more response for one-to-one communications, appointment setting, possibly follow-up, or when you have a close relationship with a prospect, you may be using texting as a way to communicate because you get faster and you get more response through texting than you do through any other channel. How about automation? We talked about marketing automation. We talked about ATS automation. Can we use that not just to sell, but to nurture, to share ideas, to share content, to get feedback, to show every client and every prospect we value them, we care about them, and we want to do more to earn their business and earn their future business. Also in marketing, we talk about these things called MQLs, marketing qualified leads. Somebody who just downloads content from your website. They're not ready to buy anything. So we need to have an automation path for how do we take them from they were interested in this topic that they downloaded to they're interested in staffing services. The automation can make a real natural progression from how the ideas you provided translate to the value of your staffing services. Then there's pay-per-click advertising. We talked about it once already, but I want to talk about it again. So now we're going to use it a little bit differently. We can do retargeting ads that follow people who have visited your website. Again, we can do that matched audience ad to stay top of mind with prospects, or we can do geo-targeting, going after people in a specific location. Like let's say you do industry conferences and you've been marketing to a lot of people going to the conference. I might do geo-targeted ads right around the facility where that conference is so that the entire time people are at the conference, our sales team is reaching out, they're seeing us at the booth and they're seeing us online, either through social media ads or through Google advertising, wherever they go. We're using paid advertising in ways to reinforce our value, keep us top of mind with those prospects. All right, a contrarian one. Level up recruiting, even if the market's down, because in a down market, you need to recruit more. Huh? Why would I need to recruit more? Well, I grew up in the staffing industry, and this is one of my dad's great lessons to me is you really need to think about how do I take every job order I get and fill it with the better quality candidate faster than anyone else. And that means I need more recruiting. So I need to think not just about more job advertising, but the 5 pillars of recruitment marketing. It starts with your employer brand. What do we stand for? Why should people choose us over the competition? Second, it's your career site. I've got a website, but how about the career section? Do I have a really phenomenal career portal that makes it easy to apply, that fully integrates with my ATS? It's one of the first technology products we built at Haley Marketing was a career portal integrating with Bullhorn. Today, we integrate with more than 35 different applicant tracking systems to provide a better candidate experience around searching for jobs and applying on desktop and mobile. How about social recruiting? Do you have a distinct strategy for active job seekers on social media? Do you have another distinct strategy for passive job seekers? Do you have a game plan of regularly sharing? Are you doing both company sharing and team-based sharing, getting your recruiters involved to build your brand on social media. So you're showing prospective candidates, active and passive, all the reasons they should trust you with their next job. How about your job advertising? I mentioned AdCast. So are you using tools like that? Are you using a company that can help you implement AdCast to help you reduce your cost of recruiting? So when we are working with our clients, if you're spending more than $2,000 a month on job ads, we typically can reduce the cost per application by 33% in less than 6 months. So in a down market, when you're leveling up recruiting, you need to get more out of every advertising dollar you spend, which means better recruiting techniques. It also means teaching your recruiters to write better, higher performing job ads and doing a lot of testing to see what will get us the most response. And lastly, it's recruiting automation. So we talked about sales automation, but a lot of those tools, Sense and Bullhorn Automation, were really built around recruitment automation, helping to automate the service process so that it's a great experience for every candidate, so we can get more referrals, we can reactivate former candidates, and we can redeploy people coming out at the end of their assignments. So these 5 pillars are things you want to master, because if we can get more candidates faster for less cost, we're going to fill more of the open orders coming in. All right, and I've got one last strategy for you. Here's our bonus 11th strategy, which is to level up your marketing mix. So almost everything we've talked about today was sales and marketing, promotion. And in business school, they taught me this thing called a marketing mix, or they call it the 4 Ps: price, product, placement, and promotion. So promotion we've done. But in a downturn, some of the most successful companies come out by rethinking product. So in the early 2000s, companies in the staffing industry came up with the idea of VMS, vendor management software, vendor management systems. They came up with MSP solutions. In the 2009 recession, Uber came out of that, which really is a staffing company. It's a gig economy company. These are companies that rethought the product of how staffing gets delivered. In 2020, with so many going remote, a lot of companies were thinking about, hey, can I do remote worker management as a staffing function? Now I can see from the chat, we have people on this webinar from all over the world. We have employees here at Haley Marketing all over the world. We, at any point in time, are working in 4 different time zones. So as a staffing company, could you help employers to build and manage a global workforce? When we hire overseas, we're actually working with a PEO company in the Philippines. So what can you do to rethink product, the service you deliver? It's not just temp help. It's not just temp to hire. It's not just direct to hire. What else could you do that helps your clients solve their problems using staffing as a tool? How about price? Now, I'm not suggesting cut your prices. Pricing isn't just what you charge, it's how you charge. And in staffing, our model is, well, we charge a pricing based on markup. We charge based on a percentage of placement, of salary placement fee. So could we do it differently? I talked to one company and they said, we want to do recruiting as a subscription service. So rather than paying us anything for a specific transaction, we're going to do a subscription. RPO services are similar to that. It's a completely different payment model for direct hire staffing. So can you think of pricing? I know some companies have gone to, I heard one that has a 5-year guarantee on direct hire. Now, they're not going to give you 100% back in 5 years, but they changed the perception of the cost of direct hire services to make that service more affordable for more employers. And lastly, place. Once upon a time, all staffing was done locally. Salespeople went out, made calls, they came back to their brick and mortar office. Today, your recruiters are probably global, or at least spread out across the United States or whatever country you're based in. So we have to think about how place is going to change, where we sell and where we recruit from, to change the staffing game. This is the think globally and act locally message, but think globally and act globally. All of us, you can be a tiny company today and be a global player in the staffing industry, but we have to really rethink our business model, changing product, price, and place, not just promotion. So what we're offering at our core is different than what traditional staffing companies are offering. So let's wrap it up. Why does all this stuff matter? We've just spent 40 minutes talking about lots of marketing and sales strategies. What does impact does it make? Well, if we look at the 2009 recession, our last big one, we saw that aggressive advertisers obtained 4.5 times more market share gain versus their competitors who cut back on marketing. And in every recession, we've seen some people who get aggressive and some people who cut back. And I can't say it's 100%, but it's 95% plus. Companies that got aggressive, they saw sales decline less. It wasn't like marketing was a magic bullet that eliminated a recession, but they had less downturn. They recovered sooner. In most cases, 6 or more months before the staffing industry started to turn back up, these companies were already turning back up. And most important of all, they recovered 2 times faster than the industry, meaning they were doing double the rate of growth of what the industry was doing coming out of the 2009, 2010 recession. It is absolutely time to level up your marketing. Are you ready to do it? You need to get started today. The time to take action was really 6 months ago before we got to where we are, but start today. Don't make these mistakes. Don't panic. Don't only focus on cost cutting. Don't cut marketing. If you go dark, people think you're out of business. Don't slash your prices, because if you cut your prices now, your clients will never let you get them back. There are ways to offer discounts by getting clients to spend more money with you rather than cutting prices. Don't do nothing and hope it gets better. Waiting in the dark for it to get better. You might survive, you might batten down the hatches and get through this, but it's going to take so much longer than if you have an active strategy. And don't just jump into the hot new market, because that can be a recipe for death, because you can get into a market where you don't know what you're doing compared to others. And finally, when it comes to a recession, make a conscious decision, choose not to participate. No matter how bad 2023 turns out to be or how good, you as an individual business are not dependent on the broader market. You're only dependent on what your company does with the clients you find and you win. And as Jack Welch said, never miss out on an opportunity like a good recession. Now, to wrap things up in my last 3 minutes, there are questions, feel free to ask, but I got some freebies for you. So I got some really good stuff to offer. I also promised to show you an example of a product landing page. So I've got 3 slides here with 3 offers. First, what we saw today is a subset of a new ebook we have coming out in just a couple of weeks called Level Up. It's a guide to marketing for staffing companies in a down market. If you'd like it, don't have a landing page for it yet, there's my email address. That's me personally. Send me an email and I will make sure you get a copy of our new ebook as soon as it is completed. If you want more ideas, check out this website, Staffing Brain Fuel. It's haleymarketing.com/brain fuel. It is filled with ebooks, articles, on-demand webinars, specifically addressing sales and growth strategies during tough economic times. Also, that MV, that mission, vision, values, there's a really good ebook there all on differentiation you should download. All right, here's that landing page example. We do digital marketing is one of the things we do at Haley Marketing. So put together a really cool landing page. It's haleymarketing.com/digital-marketing-bundles. You can look at it if you're looking to improve your digital marketing. But if you just want to look at how to design a high-performing landing page, go check it out. It's got some great information. You'll see how we address the value proposition of digital marketing. We address people's objections. We have a video to introduce you to the services. We even talk about pricing right there on that site. And lastly, talked about conversion rate optimization. You want us to look at your website and do a 30-point review to see how you're optimized? One more URL for you, haleymarketing.com/website review. So if you want to have an opportunity to have your site reviewed by our team, just go to that website, fill in the form, and we'll take a look at your site, do our 30-point checklist, and tell you where you can improve response. All right, that's it. That's my time. If there are questions, please don't be shy about reaching out. If you need ideas, help with your 2023 marketing, that's what we live to do. It's not one of the slides, but we really, we put together complimentary marketing plans for people who call us and need marketing help. Just reach out. Our phone number, it's at the bottom, it's small there. It's 888-696-2900 or info@haleymarketing.com. And we're more than happy to help. All right, guys, that's 11:30 Eastern. Thank you so much for the time today.